Okay, so good morning, welcome. I'm Barry Jones. I'm the Complex Needs Area Lead for Children's Services, and it's my absolute privilege to welcome you all here today. What a buzz we've got in the room. Just looking around, I can see young people, young adults, carers, parents. We've got practitioners through to senior executives from education, health, care, the voluntary sector, community sector. And also, loads of people, which is absolutely brilliant. And I think, actually, it's testament to the relationships, the networks and the partnerships that we've got in the city. And they're really, really, really strong. So thank you again for coming. I do appreciate that everyone's busy. And thank you for prioritising your time today and for your input and your participation. It's absolutely valid throughout the day. So thank you very much. So the aim really is to sort of tap into the skills, knowledge, experience that's in the room to collaboratively co-produce the vision for preparing for adulthood, specifically for children, young people, special education needs and disabilities who have education, health and care plans. But it's really important to acknowledge that we know that this will look different for everyone, because everyone's an individual with their own needs and their own disabilities and their own uniqueness and talents. So if we get it right for young people aged 0 to 25 with education, health and care plans, which is the focus of today, ultimately that should have a knock-on across those who don't have an education, health and care plan. So, housekeeping. There's not a planned fire alarm test today, okay? So if it does go off, we will evacuate, and we will do so through the back entrance there, and through there and the back, and we will congregate outside on Millennium Square opposite the museum. There's a few people around with child-friendly leads back at the tops, and we'll all follow them. The bathrooms, if you haven't found them, are back down the corridor and then near the lifts. And if they get busy, there's bathrooms on every floor, near every lift. A huge thank you for Linda from the NDTI and the team who have come today to do the facilitation later on. And they've also kindly provided us with lunch, refreshments and the biscuits that I'm sure you're all enjoying. So a huge thank you to those. So that's really just to let Tom and Cllr Yeadon know that's not come out of anyone's budget locally. So, it's Department for Education, thank you very much. So on the table we have some packs for people to share. In those packs you'll see a programme that's outlining what today looks like. And you'll see in the morning we've got a number of speakers that I'm going to introduce you to shortly. Really pleased to say we've got a young person's panel where we're going to have a conversation up on stage, and I'm looking forward to that. And then we're going to show a short film, and then we're going to move into doing some real work and tapping into your knowledge, expertise, your hopes, aspirations, and your ideas on what we can do better locally. We're also joined by Pen, who's our graphic facilitator, who's going to capture the event live as it goes, and fingers crossed, the technology will work that we'll be able to zoom it up on there later on in the afternoon. Fingers crossed. So, by the end of today, the aim is we'll not only have co-produced the vision and have that written down on the tables and got a visual representation of that, but we'll also have a really strong, coherent action plan of high-level things we all need to go away and do to make it a reality. And ultimately, from getting from talk to action, which I know we're all really keen to do. I'm about to show myself up and demonstrate that I don't know anything about Twitter. Anybody tweet? Yeah. Okay, brilliant. Anyone got a mobile phone? Okay, brilliant. Anyone get free texts? Yeah. Right, okay. So, we've got hashtag PFA Leeds, and Tristan, my colleague, reliably informs me that our handle, I hope that's right, and he's not just told me to make a fool of myself, is at PFA Leeds. If you want to tweet and share your observations and your thoughts throughout the day, that would be fabulous. We've also got a text number. So we know we're going to aim to finish for 3 o'clock. It's going to be really, really busy. And I know everyone wants to go back home to the office or finish for the week. So we're not going to ask you to fill out a paper evaluation form. But what we do want to do is capture your thoughts, your comments and your observations, good, bad or indifferent, about today and what it means for you. If you don't tweet, please send us a text. And what we'll try and do later on is put some of those texts up on screen so we can see what the feeling is about how today's going. So that's more than enough from me. Thanks again for coming. I'd like to introduce Cllr Yeadon, the elected member for Children's Services, and Tom Riordan, sorry, the Chief Executive from Leeds City Council. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Barry. Hi everybody. As Barry said, I'm Councillor Lucinda Yeadon, and I'm very lucky because I have probably one of the best jobs on Leeds City Council, in that I am the executive member responsible for children and families. So I've been doing this role since May, and I'm really enjoying it, and I've got a fantastic team that I'm working with. I'm also the deputy leader of Leeds City Council as well, which is a fantastic role to have, and I'm very proud to have a position like this in such a brilliant city. So there are things that people probably already know about me, and are quite widely documented. It's not news. But what some people might not know about me is that I was born with a condition called spina bifida. And I grew up with spina bifida all my life, and it's something that I live with now. So for some of the young people in the room, they might know what spina bifida is. There might be some people in the room who also has it. And for me, that made it really important why I wanted to come here to open this event. Because I remember when I was growing up, and I was a little bit different from people that I went to school with, who didn't have some of the challenges and things that I had to think about. They didn't have to deal with those kind of things. So for them going into adulthood and looking at those next stages of their lives was a little bit more simple than it was for me, who had to think about other things. So I'm really pleased to be able to come here and to speak to you guys, and to speak to young people who are going through a similar period of time that I went through, to be able to say that when you get into adulthood, you guys can make a huge difference. And I think that's really important to know, that just because you have different challenges growing up and you might have to think about things a little bit differently, it doesn't mean that you're not going to play an incredibly important part in the world, because I'm sure many of you will. So I think it's really important that we're having this kind of event today to bring together parents and carers, young people and professionals, to make a plan to make sure that every single young person in the city has the opportunity to fulfil their potential and has the opportunity to make a significant difference to the lives of other people and to their lives themselves. So I'm really proud to be here and to be able to open this event with Tom. We're doing a double act today, and it's kind of freestyle. It was suggested we talk about, certain things like the strategic vision for the city, and I've completely ignored it. I'm really sorry. Really sorry, Barry. But I just thought I'd freestyle it, and so I'm going to let Tom talk about that instead, and he'll probably ignore that as well, knowing Tom. So for me, just to say to all the young people here, you've got a really exciting future ahead. You're living in a really exciting city to have that future. Make the most of it. So make the most of today, because we're going to get a plan together, and that's going to really make a difference to your lives, and you'll make a difference to the lives of people in Leeds as well. So, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Yeadon, and it's great to welcome you to Leeds, to this great building on a sunny Friday. I think it's still sunny outside. This room is a great one to be in, because it's where it's called the Banqueting Suite, and it's where the Lord Mayor sort of resides in the council. This building was built in the 1930s as a public works programme to help the unemployed people of Leeds. So it's a real symbol of the city. The golden owls are the symbols that you'll see outside and on top of the building. And on this wall, if you get a chance later to come and have a look at this wall, there's listed all the people who've got the freedom of the city over the years. So on that wall, there's Winston Churchill, there's Nelson Mandela, and more recently, there's people like Alan Bennett, Jane Tomlinson, people who've made a massive contribution to the city. So we like to do really important events in this building and in this room, and that's why you're all here, because we believe as a council that, as Councillor Yeadon said, you are massively important to us, to the city. We want to be a city where everybody thrives and everybody achieves their potential, and that everybody's treated as a human being, as an individual. When you're in big organisations like the council and you're running big public services, the danger is that you get all these different initiatives and different projects that are aimed at you, and you have about 20 different people that you've got to deal with. And what we're trying to do is to simplify all of that and to turn it on its head and say, instead of us, if you like, deciding from the top what these services are going to be, that we flip that round, and you're the ones who get much more impetus and control and input onto how we should support people like yourselves in the city. So the overall way of doing that is called the Health and Wellbeing Strategy. That's the bit of the briefing that I am going to talk about. And there's 5 outcomes that we're looking for. And they're, it's worth maybe just keeping them in mind this morning, because that's our ambition, if you like, for you and for the people who are helping you. And they're around living longer and better lives, around being active and independent. That sense of independence is something that's really, really important to many people I know, many people in this room, and how can we really help make that a reality? It's about quality, and when you get a service from the council, from the NHS, that it's of really good quality and it's matched to your individual needs. And it's also about the most important thing, the 5th one that I've gone through 4, and you probably haven't noticed them, but the 5th one, which is community. Leeds is a fantastic city. It's a collection of towns and villages, really. So many of you will associate yourselves with maybe Kirkstall or Kippax or Wetherby or Hunslet or Holbeck. Leeds is this fantastic array of different places. And what we want to make sure is that whatever your community or neighbourhood is, it's one that you can play a really active part in, and that you can know that you've got friends and you've got family and you've got a wider group of people who are looking out for you and who you can get involved in if you want to make a difference in the community. So today is all about making sure all those ambitions, those grand ambitions that we've got, come to fruition. And I just want to finish really by saying 2 things. One is a big thank you to everybody in the room, to those young people who've come today and given up your morning and middle of the afternoon to come and help us with these issues. Also to the staff from the council and other partner organisations and our national partners who are here, who you're going to hear from shortly, who are making sure that we're preparing for adulthood for everybody in the city as well as we can do. But the second point is really to just finish by saying what an amazing city this is. We've got fantastic cultural organisations. We have a music arena that's one of the best in the world. We've got opera and ballet companies. We've got fantastic sports clubs, with 1 or 2 exceptions, not performing quite as well as we want them to. So if there are any billionaires in the room who want to buy a football club, no, it's not Middlesbrough, it's Leeds United. We want you to hear from you, but we've got the Rhinos, the best rugby league club in the world. We've got amazing things happening on the cricket pitch, and Yorkshire County Cricket Club, men and women, boys and girls doing really, really well. We've got John Lewis opening in the autumn in Leeds finally, the Trinity development, lots of new jobs coming into the city, and we want you to have access to all of those fantastic opportunities. The brilliant universities, we've got the colleges that we've got. So if you have those ambitions and we can help you, then that's what today is about as well. How do we open all that up for you as well and make you part of that success story that we want Leeds to be? So with that, I will say thank you very much for listening to us, and I'm going to hand back to Barry. Thank you.